Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
And Mitch?
And today we're sitting with Cory Klippsten. He's the founder of GiveBitcoin.io. Cory, we're excited to talk to you today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really nice to meet you guys, and thanks for making the long trip out to sunny SoCal.
Oh man, it was worth it.
Yeah,
we're
having
an
the
amazing
opportunity
time
to leave the snow behind
Yeah.
and come have
Right.
a week about crypto.
Yeah,
It doesn't
well,
get better
I'm
than
originally from the great Northwest up in Seattle, so it's
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I almost never miss it.
Nice. I almost never miss the cold. No,
Yeah, basically
no.
just see hot games. But yeah, once the Sonics were gone, I was like, okay, I don't need that city much anymore.
There you go.
So tell us about what brings you to the convention.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been friends with these guys for a few years. Alon is the
Okay.
conference organizer, so I've known
Great
him,
guy.
worked with him before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we're here. This is our hometown. The timing of the product coming out here later this month is great. We're in alpha test right now. Should be opening the beta to all the early signups. There'll be about 1,000 people
Okay.
banging around trying to break things over the next couple weeks. And
Sure.
then we'll kind of make it live for
Gotta
everybody.
test the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about Give Bitcoin. What exactly is it about? Are you going to give us
Yeah.
some Bitcoin today, or?
Yeah, so
That's what I understand.
Right.
Yeah. So I might. So yeah, I mean, essentially what it is, we're trying to create the safest and easiest way to bring someone new into Bitcoin.
Sweet.
So we're really trying to create new coiners.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
right
so
up our alley,
up our
baby.
there,
Hell yeah.
We were all
There you
about
go.
spreading adoption and trying to bring new people in.
Love it.
Our big focus right now is trying to find educational tools and resources and
Yeah.
things like that we can direct people to, so that when they get into the space, they're not just in this cloud of, oh my God,
What do I
there's
do?
so many
Yeah.
things. There's so many different directions and rabbit holes and things you can go down in crypto.
That's right.
And so finding yourself and getting on the right path to what you're excited and passionate about is a difficult thing to do, because there's so much stuff spread out all over the place. So
Yeah, I think that's right. You know, Twitter's a big space, and the internet's even bigger.
Yes.
And it's really confusing sometimes for new people to get good information and not, waste a year in the hinterlands
Exactly.
with
Sure.
the wrong influencers
Exactly.
or whatever it is, giving them bad info.
So when you say give new coiners a safer way to come into Bitcoin, how would they do that? What does that mean?
Specifically, this is the initial product, or the initial flow in the product, is for someone who already likes Bitcoin and knows about Bitcoin and wants to get some friend or family member or someone that they meet involved in Bitcoin. And basically what we say is give plus time lock plus educate equals Bitcoiner.
Right.
So if I want to get my cousin Patrick in Texas into Bitcoin, I might buy through the platform $100. You can only liquidate dirty fiat for beautiful orange coin. You cannot give
Perfect.
away your own Bitcoins.
now we're talking.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, so we want you to hodl your Bitcoins forever and pass them down to the 7th generation of your children. in the
And that's
future.
why when I spend mine, I
Yeah.
go buy it with
Buy
that
it
dirty
immediately.
fiat that I'm going to spend
Exactly.
anyways, and then
Exactly.
use it to buy it. So
Circulate it,
Yeah.
right? It's an
yeah,
ecosystem. You
get it
gotta
into
use it.
circulation.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, in our case, we think of our specific mission is to teach people about Bitcoin as a savings technology and as a great hedge against turmoil in the global financial system and things like that. So not things you guys haven't talked about before, I'm sure.
Exactly.
So that's specific. So then my cousin Patrick gets an email that says, hey, cousin Cory is giving you $100 worth of Bitcoin, sign up for an account, accept the Bitcoin. I, as the giver, it's mandatory to time lock the Bitcoin for at least 1 year.
Oh,
My choices
sweet.
are anywhere from 1 to 5 years.
That's awesome.
So Patrick gets the Bitcoin, he can see it, he owns it, it's in his account,
But
but
he
it's
can't
it's in a
touch it.
contractual time lock
That's
where he can't
beautiful.
touch it.
I love
And then
that.
over the first year, over those 12
It
months,
forces him to learn more about it.
but we deliver that education.
Gotcha.
So our advisors, who are actually like part owners of the company, are people like Safety and a Moose, who wrote the Bitcoin Standards, Stefan Livera from Stefan Livera podcast, Matt Odell from Tales from the Crypt, the Bitcoin
sweet.
Rabbi, Jan Pritzker, who wrote Inventing Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Meltem Demirors, who just did the congressional testimony about Bitcoin and Libra. So like a lot of these people, and then we are putting together educational modules, 12 chapters, one for each month. And so when you get your account statement and you're drawn in the subject line by the price action to open it up, you're hit with like video. We'll be doing, we have like Q&A, we have like a short essay and a long essay. We're linking to like the best podcasts about that particular topic. So it's just like, what is Bitcoin? Why should you care about it? all really focused on the perspective of a new coiner.
Awesome.
You know, really tailored to them.
Yeah.
What are the questions they're going to ask?
Right, exactly. I love that.
That's good. We're going to have to nail them down for a quick video recording session.
Yes.
For where, so on our, we'll get into the seed cards in a minute. So
Yeah.
we're doing this thing called seed cards that we're planning all around. And it's not just Crypto Campfire. It started out with actually Litecoin to begin with, but
with these here.
All sorts of different self-funded projects. And the goal is to plant these seed cards around the world, which has already gone worldwide in 3 weeks. And you post the thing, you take a picture of it, you post it on Twitter, and then you go put it on the map and you link your tweet. So you can go on the map, you can see where all the seeds are planted, what seed they were planted for, and then you can see the tweet with a picture of it, which is really cool. So we're doing this on our seed card. It's going to go to a landing page, and the first thing is going to be a welcome video, welcoming new people into crypto.
Cool.
And at the very end, there's a big montage of everybody that we can get together in the crypto space, saying,
doing a
welcome
video
to crypto.
clip, welcome to crypto, you know.
So we've got a bunch of them already, so we'll get you guys.
We did a big one last night when we were at
cool.
the function, you know, hey everybody, you know, get your attention. I want everybody to say welcome to crypto. It was pretty cool.
It's like Live Aid for the new financial system.
It is. It is.
Live Aid for the
Exactly.
new
You know,
financial
and it's
system.
just it's so powerful and it's so much fun to bring people into this space, you know, because we realize the potential, we realize the value of it, right? That's going to just continue to grow.
Yeah.
And by educating is the key, you know, because knowledge is power, right? And it just gives people that power to make an educated decision and not just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
you know, and falling into, you know, media and what they're hearing on the news, because all these big money dogs are wanting to manipulate the whole system, right? So that they put out all this FUD to control price and bring price down, and then people panic sell, and, you know, educating people, look, unless you're going to try and day trade and you're going to lose your ass because only 5% of people that actually day trade make it, then you need to just hold it and forget about it, right? And so
Or use it,
right? Exactly, and actually use it for what it's intended for, and just replenish it. You know, so that's our big push, and I think, you know, supporting the community and bringing everybody together to do this. You know, one of the biggest things was when I first got onto Twitter, there's just so much negativity flying back and forth, right? Because you got everybody's in their own little coin clique.
Yeah.
You know, and yours is a shit coin, and you're this, and you're that, and mine's the best. And it's like, you know, we all serve a purpose. All the coins serve a purpose. They all have their own use case in reality. So Bitcoin's a good store of gold. Litecoin's a fast, you know, transaction speed. XRP's a really fast transaction speed, you know. So there's a lot of different avenues.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own views on it.
Oh, sure.
But we don't have to go deep into it. Rather talk about the product. But you can see me on Twitter.
Right on, right on.
I'm quite a Bitcoiner.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. You know,
and all that entails.
You know, we're
but we can still be friends. And you know,
well, we're all about crypto at the end of the
The way I
day.
take it,
hang out
like,
and have a good time.
I think that someone that's working and thinking about cryptocurrency in general is much more likely to become a big-time Bitcoiner over time. So, like, you know, rather than some random person on the street.
I'm not going to say I'm not going to store my funds in it.
Right,
And
exactly.
like, you know, it's a store of value.
Yeah.
It's the gold to the crypto standard as far as I'm
and the big
concerned.
argument for Bitcoin too, I mean, there's no matter how much we like our altcoins and stuff like that, you can always build more things on top of Bitcoin. You can always improve it, and you know, so you can always come up with more things to kind of counteract some of the problems that people have.
That's right.
So
I really like this analogy of thinking about Bitcoin as the base layer in the same way that, like, TCP is like
exactly
layer one
it,
for
right?
the internet, and now we're
You
finally
build upon it.
now there's, like, you know, Lightning and Liquid is layer 2, and there've been some proposals now that are being bandied about for, like, a layer 3 on top of Bitcoin that sits on top of Lightning and Liquid, and, like, eventually it just becomes this stack.
Exactly.
And, you know, 100 years from now, we'll look back and we'll laugh at the first 20 years of the internet when it was all about advertising.
Right.
You know,
before
it's
Bitcoin.
it's funny already, right?
It's already
It
funny.
is. It is. And I think we need maximalists, though. We need people to be, you know, really devout to one, as well as we need people to be open to all, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
That's
I
why
think
we're called the Crypto Campfire, not the Bitcoin Campfire.
I think
because
that's
it's
right.
about cryptocurrency.
I mean, I certainly become sharper in my ways of explaining Bitcoin and thinking about Bitcoin because I have to have discussions and arguments with people that have different views.
Right.
So.
And it helps you grow. If you close your mind to one perspective, you'll never go anywhere.
I mean, as an example, like I'm in one Telegram chat that has, like, all of the founders and fund managers and writers and everything from, like, across the space.
Okay.
And there are like hundreds of messages per day in that.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm in another one that's like only Bitcoiners, and we'll have like 6 or 7 messages a day.
Right.
Because we all agree on everything. We see each other on Twitter anyway.
Right. So there's nothing to argue about.
That's great.
Exactly. So as far as teasing out arguments and learning ways to teach people about Bitcoin, it's actually a lot healthier to have discussions with people that see things a different way.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, we talk about it all the time. Like you got to grow somehow, right?
I think so. Yeah. So
and without contradicting opinions, you're not gonna form any improvements upon the idea that you're already working on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and not to say that this is how I think of it, but Bitcoin was made for enemies. Like it's an adversarial system.
It is,
and
the enemies
and
are the
based
controls,
on,
right? The enemies are the people that want to control everything.
Yeah.
If you think
or
about
deflect from it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what brought you into crypto? When did you? Because we like to learn about the project.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
we also like to talk about the individual, right?
Yeah,
and
of course.
then talk about our own views
Yeah.
and stuff about life. So
Yeah.
what brought you into the space? And
Yeah, I mean, just real briefly, long career in mostly big tech and
Okay.
management consulting, private equity. So I've worked for Microsoft and Morgan Stanley and
Awesome.
Google and McKinsey and Company, big consulting firm. I also went to got a business degree from University of Chicago.
Awesome.
Finance
Cool.
MBA, entrepreneurship MBA, and I think it was probably like 2009, 2010, I realized like I really wanted to work in early stage startups. And I really wanted to figure out how to like build tech companies. That's what a lot of my friends did in my early professional career in New York. They were
Okay.
all entrepreneurial and they were working on internet things. And I had always sort of gravitated toward more name brand, big firms. And I was just basically done with it. I felt like I had learned what I wanted to learn, and I really wanted to get into startups.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. So I came out. I transferred with Google out to the Los Angeles office specifically so I could plug into the tech ecosystem out here, and also just have a 45-minute flight to Silicon Valley.
Right.
And I just networked like crazy, and I met like 1,500 VCs and hundreds of founders, and started just kind of plugging in and seeing where I could help. So for the last 6.5 years, inclusive of the time that I've spent in Bitcoin and crypto, I've been advising early stage tech CEOs, angel investing, and occasionally operating. So I was a co-founder of an ad tech company for a couple years, 2013 to 2015, didn't work out. And then this is my second venture as a founder in Give Bitcoin. It's always so hard to talk about the times that you missed your opportunities to get into Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is in my Gmail from 2012. Someone gave me Bitcoin, and this is actually foundational for the product. Somebody gave me Bitcoin I remember January 29th, 2014 at a tech conference.
Okay.
Gave me some Bitcoin in a blockchain wallet. I proceeded to not go down the rabbit hole, not read the white paper, and lose the private keys.
Oh shit! Right.
It would be worth like $1,000 today. It's not that big a deal, but
learn
I'd
from
rather
that.
have the Bitcoin.
Sometimes the things that don't really destroy us, we learn so much from.
Yeah, that's right. I made a big mistake in 2010 when this is somebody on Craigslist was trying to trade stuff for Bitcoin.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I heard about a guy was buying and selling stuff to pay for college at the time. And I was like, what's Bitcoin? I still don't remember to this day what I saw. But I Googled it. I went to the first page. It looked like a website from like 1990. I mean, it felt like it was, I don't know. It didn't capture my attention.
Yeah.
Right? And so I forgot about Bitcoin until 2016.
Okay.
When I got a little Butterfly Labs miner on trade, and then I kind of started playing with. But yeah, I mean, kick yourself over that sometimes.
Yeah.
But realistically, think about it. If we had bought even 100,000 Bitcoin back in 2010, how long would it have taken you to sell that?
Oh, we laugh about this. Like the only way, and we try to mirror this in the product with the long forced hodling period.
Yes.
But like really, the only way to have a huge stack, unless you're just inhuman or a sociopath,
right,
is basically to like have a bunch, lose the key, and then find the key again years later.
Exactly. Because,
so that's what we're trying to do with the product.
Right.
I love what you're doing about it, and not only just for the hodl concept, but for setting up funds for kids or things like that, or college funds or something like that. It's a really cool idea to be able to give them something that they can't spend,
and to be able to lock it,
but that they have
cool
control over. They just can't spend it yet.
Yeah.
It's not, the bank's not holding it. It's not a CD or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity to have some sort of an investment fund for anybody that's going to grow over time without having a centralized party involved.
So we should. So then I basically finally did go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole starting in spring of 2017, but it was because of all the noise that was happening with the crossover from Silicon Valley and the startups and all those people getting involved in altcoins and ICOs and Ethereum and things like that. So luckily I did start reading about Bitcoin first and started stacking that summer.
Nice.
But then I proceeded to spend, I won't say it on your show, but anyway, I came in more or less through the altcoin side door for about a year. So I was president and chief investment officer of a big crypto fund called DNA, working with Brock Pierce and a lot of the former EOS people, and like that's kind of what I did. So I was involved in like launching Robot Cash and Everpedia and some of these better known ICOs, and then I kept reading about Bitcoin and something finally clicked for me, in kind of like Q1 of 18, and I never read another white paper after March of 18.
Gotcha.
And I basically just started to figure out like how could I actually work in Bitcoin. So I first tried to start a Bitcoin ecosystem fund to be like for Bitcoin what consensus is. Couldn't quite get that together in summer of 18, and then I left the fund at the end of August of 18, and basically just been trying to figure out how to do something in Bitcoin ever since, and had the idea for this in April and put together the team. We started coding July 1st, and we're, like I said, in alpha test right now, and should be live to the world by the end of the month.
That's amazing. So cool. That says a lot that you've accomplished. You've actually gone that far, because I mean you see all these ICOs that have raised tons and tons of money, like just for an example, and 2 years in, they still haven't started coding anything, right? Because they're still working on hype and all that.
Yeah.
It's nice to see people just jump in and actually start working, right?
Actually do it.
Yeah. Well, we raised $250,000 and we still have 100 of it left. So
you raised it from
just angels.
Okay,
just
angel investors.
Yeah, just Bitcoiners mostly and fund managers that want to be part of this.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Like you say, there's a lot of people that want to volunteer in the crypto space because they love being a part of this and they love helping out. So sometimes you can find some volunteers and you can stretch those funds and make them go as far as you can possibly get them instead of just pissing them away on parties and throwing events and stuff like that.
So outside of crypto, what do you do for fun? What do you like to get into? Are you into hiking, or do you like biking, skydiving, or do you just focus on
skydiving?
I like puzzles, coloring books, slides, swing sets. Yeah, I mean, I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, two daughters.
Awesome. And, congratulations.
Yeah, so I like what they like.
Yeah, right. You're into being a dad.
I love painting. I like eating snacks.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love
cool.
I love going to school and hanging out and dropping off.
Right.
This is good shit.
Yeah, right. It is.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, one thing that I think helps with starting new companies and has been very relevant for the crypto space is like, I did from the time I was like in college all the way through basically having kids, and I continue to kind of do this. I always enjoyed throwing parties. And organizing events.
Sure.
So I've had like what I call Tech Salon Monthly, so the third Wednesday of every month has been going since 2011 in Chicago, and then continues out here in LA, and it's just founders and investors with no agenda, no pitches, no sponsors.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I buy the food, you buy the drinks. Buy your own drinks, I ain't paying for that.
Right.
But I'll buy some food and put it on the table, and we can just come and hang out.
Oh,
so like,
sweet.
I like that. I met my wife at a party that I threw, so like infinite ROI.
Yeah.
Better than Icon. better than Icon in 2017, right?
Hell yeah! Infinite ROI. I love it.
We're gonna
I
have
love
to get her
it.
a T-shirt made.
Right.
That's gonna be her.
Get Bitcoin logo on.
I gotta get her on Twitter and call her Infinite ROI.
There you go. That's
perfect.
beautiful. I love it. I love it. That's cool that you. Go ahead.
I super appreciate it. My team's always on me to make sure that I describe the other things that you can do with the product.
Yeah. Go for it.
So we think about the give side as sort of like the, Bitcoiners are super into Bitcoin and want to tell everybody. They're like 10 times worse than CrossFitters 10 years ago.
Okay.
Right? And so they just want to tell everybody. And this is like the way to scale that and make that super fast and easy.
Sure.
It also lets you, essentially send people Bitcoin by email, but only if they accept it is it debited from your bank account.
Oh, okay.
So like if I get somebody's email address, like if I get, Keanu Reeves' email address, I can send him $1,000 of Bitcoin knowing that like I'm not going to lose my $1,000 unless he actually accepts it.
Right.
And now I have a Bitcoin conversation with Keanu Reeves and try to red pill Neo.
That's cool. Give me some of that. That would be sick.
Is there like a time release on that after they don't accept it for a while?
30 days. Yeah, so you have 30 days to accept the gift.
Right.
Yeah, otherwise it just like the transaction gets canceled and you both get notified. Exactly.
That's neat.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's kind of the give side. Then you also can get Bitcoin through the platform. So if you have a birthday, graduation, Christmas, wedding, bar mitzvah, whatever coming up, and you like Bitcoin and you want all your friends and family and Twitter followers or YouTube fans or whatever to give you Bitcoin, you can just go fund yourself.
Oh, wow. I like that. GFY. It gives you a whole new meaning to
go
GFY.
Go fund yourself with Bitcoin. Exactly.
That's perfect.
We're going to have to change that, because that's a big one I throw out on Twitter when you get the trolls, GFY tokens, right?
Yeah,
I got a whole bunch of them for you, but now it's go fund yourself. I love it. It's a good twist.
Yeah, and we're going to be rolling out affiliate as well, so that YouTube channels and Instagram superstars and the Michelle fans of the world and everybody will actually be able to stack sats
Amina,
just by talking about Bitcoin
Miss Rhonda,
and
J-Mac.
bringing people to this platform.
That's awesome.
And then
glad to see you guys on.
The plan for that is it'll actually be in perpetuity. So if you bring somebody to the platform, all purchases that they make forever, we'll be splitting our transaction fees, which we prefer.
Sweet.
And then you can stack through us, so you can buy for yourself as well. So if you have an account and you just want to use us as the place that you stack, you totally can. We've gotten a lot of indication that people actually want to use the time lock function. When you stack, it's going to be optional. So if you give or get, it's time lock is required. If you're stacking for yourself, presumably you actually know something about Bitcoin and you want to get it. But we've already gotten some traction with a hashtag we came up with called hashtag proof of hodl. So you'll start to see that, and we think you'll see people like humble bragging on Twitter, just like they stack sats with Square or whatever. Like they're gonna say like, not only did I stack sats, but I locked that shit up for 5 years.
Exactly. And
you
can't change that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Proof of hodl.
That's
So
awesome.
if you set that up and you lock it for 5
Proof
years,
of
there's
hodl,
nothing
you
can
heard
do
it
about
here.
right? It's
That's
just
right.
set in a
It's just
smart
there.
contract and it's done.
It's not a smart
It's not a
contract.
smart
It's like a legal contract.
Oh, it's going through the...
Yes, because we have a custodian. You can't you can't do all the functionality that we have on chain.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So we use Prime Trust. Prime Trust is the custodian for us.
Gotcha.
They're the same guys that custody Binance US, Wobi, Bittrex, OKX, a bunch of the funds and OTC desks. They've been in business for a long, long time.
And because most of your attention is geared towards new people coming in, them being worried about holding their own keys, because if it's not your keys, it's not your coins.
That's right. Yeah. What we do is we educate people about self-sovereignty, about cold storage, about coin joins and Wasabi and Samurai and all these things, and about the importance of running a full node. So that's kind of like the back half of the education when you get into like chapters 8, 9, 10, as somebody goes down the rabbit hole. Also remember, so we want people by the time, first of all, we want them to get super hooked so they start smashing by after like month 1. Like that's ideal.
Yeah.
And they just like, forget this little gift that somebody gave me. I'm like throwing
I'm just gonna buy
10% of my net worth
into
Bitcoin or something, right? But for sure, if they go through the education and they get to like the back chapters, and they can absolutely read ahead. So we guarantee that they're getting it in their account statement.
Right.
But the whole education is available, open source. Anybody can use it for anything that they want anytime.
Okay.
And you can read ahead whenever you want on the website.
Sure.
When we're done with it, we're still working on it.
Okay.
We've got like third drafts
ETA
of the
on
first
that?
3 chapters.
Awesome.
I'm trying to get we are trying to get the whole thing done by Christmas, so that the Christmas gifts that show up on Christmas Day will actually have all 12 chapters. We're launching with the first 3.
Okay.
So we'll, and then we'll do the next 3. We're kind of doing them in batches of 3 and just working really hard.
Right.
I should mention our author of the curriculum is one of the best tech educators basically ever. He was the author for 37 Signals. If you ever seen the blog Signal versus Noise, he's the guys that created Basecamp and Ruby on Rails. So the Basecamp project management.
Yep.
Anyway, so he has a couple of New York Times best-selling books that he wrote for those guys, Rework and Remote.
Okay.
And he's just really, really good at this. He's a great interviewer. We're actually open sourcing all of the interviews with all of these Bitcoin authors and advisors and smart Bitcoin people. So those are being posted to our YouTube as we go. So you can actually see what we are learning in our primary research that is then turning into the curriculum.
Okay. All right.
I love
Cool.
it. There's not enough like really good quality education material out there in crypto. I mean, I know there's a lot of attempts at it, and there's a lot of good sources, but there's also a lot of spread in all of it. It's all everywhere, and it's not really consistent. So it's nice to kind of see people trying to do that and bring it all together in one area and have good quality education going to new people while they're forced to hold onto their coins for a little bit and educate themselves before they just get upset with the market and dump their coins and forget about it entirely.
I mean, I can definitely plug a few there actually has been an incredible explosion of really good Bitcoin-specific education over the past year and a half. So I can give you kind of like my hit list of books and podcasts real quick. So obviously the Bitcoin Standard, Inventing Bitcoin, the Little Bitcoin book are like some really important, great books that have all come out in the last year. I would say if you want like really good Bitcoin knowledge type podcasts, the Stefan Livera podcast is amazing. Tales from the Crypt, if you want something that's a little bit more personal, and I think that's pretty accessible to people that are used to the style of more broader crypto, just because they're like normal guys. One of the guys used to be a Barstool guy before he became a huge Bitcoiner, so that's fun to listen to. And then, I mean, there are some spectacular new pieces out there, like a guy named Gigi wrote the 21 Lessons of Bitcoin, which is a great post. Nick Carter from Castle Island Ventures put one out about 2 months ago that was called A Most Peaceful Revolution, which is just an article on Medium. I listened to it again this morning. I probably have listened to it like 10 times. I didn't pick the name Keanu out of thin air, by the way. Sure. I did get his email address, and I sent him that article last night. So I am actually like actively trying to red pill
Good
Neo.
for you.
Nice.
I don't think it's going to work, but I feel like
you never
it's
know.
an important
And if
mental
you-
exercise to like, how would you actually get to somebody like that?
Right. Well, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
That's right.
So if you never put that out there, you never get a response.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the internet. I mean, we've gotten responses from people that, I mean, obviously not on the same level as Keanu Reeves, but like Justin Vendetta and John McAfee and some of the other people we've had on our show just because we asked, for no other reason. We just asked, and they happened to see the message and think it was a good idea. So, if you don't ask, if you don't try to make that connection, the answer's going to be no.
That's right.
Exactly.
We love what the Bitcoin rabbi, what Mike Harris did with sending. He basically, so he wrote his book, which was Bitcoin Money, and then he did a little kind of crowdfunding thing, $8 each, and raised whatever was necessary, 4.5K or something, to send one copy to each of our 535 Congress people and senators.
Nice. Oh wow!
And he raised the money, and so like I bought a book that went to a senator, right?
That's so
It's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing the same thing. The maximum gift allowed, without like divulging it, is $50. So I think we're gonna send like $49 of Bitcoin to each of the 535 reps and senators through this platform.
Nice.
That's sweet.
That'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
That's like mass adoption right there. That's putting the word out to all the people that are like skeptical about it.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll be able to track which ones accept.
Right. That's even
That'll
better.
be cool
That
to
is.
get some gauge on like how many of them are at least curious, if nothing else, or I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see what the numbers are. After
We know
that.
Senator Crapo is stacking, so
Right.
Yeah. Or I don't know if he's a rap actually. I think, but still.
At least we've got a couple of them in there.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
hopefully you guys check out our podcast and you listen to a few of our episodes, and we might be in your little repertoire of podcasts to listen to.
Yeah. For sure.
We have a lot of fun doing this show, and
Well, some of our team members are already fans of yours.
Oh,
so
okay,
that's
awesome.
why we sought you out.
No,
is what I
that's so
understand.
cool.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I mean, this was awesome. We
No, it's
enjoyed
my
having
pleasure.
you for
Yeah,
sure.
Thank you so much.
Guys,
Really
make sure you
appreciate
check out givebitcoin.io for more, more information on that. And we hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Like
Definitely.
you said, Christmas
Proof of
gifts.
hodl.
Christmas gifts.
Proof of hodl. Yep, proof of hodl. You guys heard it here.
Exactly.
Awesome.
All right.
All
Take
right.
it easy.
Have a good day.
it. Thanks, guys.
Peace.